And welcome back to the Real Kindness Games. Pew, 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 pew. Tim will never let me forget that ever again.
Ever.
So that's Tim. I'm Cake Sean. I already told you who he was. So you should already know this, but the Real Kindness Games is about shedding light on our personal biases and encouraging kindness by modeling curiosity in our conversations. It's so that we can appreciate humans from their unique perspectives and their experiences so that we can heal our community together. As humans, we have far more in common than what divides us, as long as we're okay with it,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. So we just came off of a really strong episode, I feel like. I'm pretty passionate about that victim mentality, right? So when you get into that mental state to where you're stuck, you're staked down to an idea, to a relationship, to a whatever that is, and it's through that culmination of false choices that you've opted into that you realize that you're stuck and you need to opt out. And so that's a really hard decision. I'm glad we talked about it. It's a very unpopular topic to talk about because everybody wants to like get their little feelings of how things work with different types of victims and everything. And there's no one size fits all. But if we don't talk
Never.
about it, then we don't provide anybody the strength to move past it. And today, I have a question for you, Kikishan.
Shoot, I'm scared.
Super smart person, degrees, colleges, and stuff. Hey, do you think you know 50% of all the information in our world? Only half.
Tim, I don't even think I know 1% of everything about the world. Like, the world is a very big place. Have you seen the internet? The internet is insane.
Do you remember that commercial? Like, you have reached the end of the internet. Please go back. And the guy's like, I won.
Is that possible? Like, I feel like we have like gone beyond that. Like, I can hop into like a black hole of Reddit and never reach the end ever.
So let me ask you a question. Is there a possibility that you could be wrong about any given topic or any given idea?
Me, wrong, Tim, never. No, I'm kidding. Yes, absolutely. I am wrong all the time. And the only reason sometimes I am right is because I have other incredibly smart people around me who, help to fill in the gaps. That's why you create a team full of incredible rock stars, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we need to surround ourselves with good people who can help us think through life, think through problems, think through social issues, whatever they may be. And today we're going to talk about the age of information that we are in. Information is so easy to get. It's at the tip of our fingers, through our phones, through our computers, through our TVs. And yet there's an unhealthy byproduct. There is the byproduct, the assumption or the understanding that if you're smart, then you must be well read. And so people actually expect you to hold an opinion on everything. Have you found that?
I have. I have. It's, people will come to you and they'll be like, well, Cake Sean, you're the expert in XYZ. You should know this already. And did you see that or did you read that? And it's like, you only have so many hours in the day. It's okay to give yourself a break and say, you know what? No, I didn't read that. Or no, I didn't watch that. Or I don't know. Let me get back to you. Let me go look that up. Let me kind of research my opinion and get back to you. And Tim, I will even add this. Sometimes we fall into the mentality of that whatever I'm saying is right. Whatever I have researched is right. We are now in the age of information where you can slice data any way to prove your point. You can say, well, I saw on so and so website, and
Yep.
they said that 90% of people are now alcoholics because of the pandemic. Is that correct? I don't think so.
And how would you find that out? Because everybody's at home. I'm just saying.
That was an inaccurate data point, but but that's the point, right? Go ahead.
Absolutely. Is it actually possible to have a well-reasoned position on every available topic, whether it's at your work, whether it's within the political sphere, whether it's within a passionate sports thing or hobby that you have? Is it possible?
No,
No.
not at all. The whole idea of us having these conversations is about being okay with the fact that you may be wrong. You may be wrong more times than you're comfortable with, and that is okay. It is okay to be wrong and to say, you know, I don't know enough about that. Why don't you tell me? Why don't you educate me and tell me what you know? And then I will go do my research and figure out what I know. And instead of saying, well, you are wrong or and I am right, it's, well, maybe we're both right, right? Maybe we're both right and our opinions are just our opinions and the facts are what, like, you go and you find real hard data evidence. Yeah. And beyond that, it's okay to just not know everything about everything, because man, if you know everything, you're a computer, and even computers can't know everything.
No, and they're super boring to talk to. I hate my computer because actually it tries to tell me what it thinks I should be doing. I'm like, hey, just do what I told you, bro. Like, step off. So let me, can we change our age? Let's go from being in the age of information to being in the age of discovery. There's so much information available to us. Why can't we just have curious conversation, not have to hold an opinion or a position on everything? Like, I don't care about the Mets. The Mets don't have to be good or have to suck. I don't have to like them or not. Like, they just exist and I'm mildly aware of them. And nobody likes the Mets, so I can say that. It's fun. But anyways, back to curious conversation. Hey, help me understand your position. I don't have to agree with you. I don't even need to take a position. That's a false choice. What's your position on this? I actually don't care about that. Not super important. But I'd love to hear what you think about it, because I like to learn. Help me discover.
And you know, I feel like sometimes people get very uncomfortable with they're having a conversation with someone and something clicks and they end up changing their minds like mid conversation. They're like, oh, I changed my mind. But now, because they've originally said that this is what they believe in, now they're like, well, I still have to hold fast to that opinion. And it's okay. It's so, like, I'm giving you permission to say, hey, I've changed my mind. I used to believe this, but now I believe that because of the conversation that we've had and we've discovered something new together. What do you think about that, Tim?
I think that's a huge leap that only a secure person like yourself could take. So for the rest of us who are mildly insecure, maybe largely insecure, I don't know. Let me close up my jacket here. How about this? How about if we learn new information? Let's just say I don't have to have a position or an opinion. Maybe I'm less certain about my stance now that I've learned this information. I don't even have to change my mind, but I don't have to hold firm to that old idea, because maybe at one point in my life, that was a very relevant place for me to be. It made sense. And now a couple years later, a couple jobs later, a couple experiences later, I'm in a different spot. And I realize new information has changed my outlook. And perspectives change, and that's a dangerous place when we cannot allow for a change of mind or a change of perspective.
Goes back to growth mindset, having this need for discovery and just having perspective, right? Like having this positive perspective in life to say there are some things that will always stay the same. The sun will always set, the moon will always rise, right? But the one thing that is certain is things will always change. We will have to adapt. We will have to be flexible, especially in this age of information. Or actually, Tim, I really like your age of discovery. I feel like that's what we should name this episode.
Hey,
All right, Tim,
I've done the last couple NPR moments. They're getting kind of boring. Please.
let's do this. So, in the age of information, it is important that we allow ourselves the grace and the time to just understand somebody else's opinion. It's okay to say, I don't know, or let me find that out. It's okay to say, I had an opinion before, but my experiences and my life choices and the people that I'm meeting today or the conversation that I had yesterday has changed what I believe and what I do. Or even to say, you know what? I don't agree with what you're saying, and I don't agree with the opinion that you hold, but I want to understand where you're coming from. I want to be curious about your perspective and hope that you can be curious about my perspective because at the end of the day, it's all about understanding, having kind conversations, and just building a community around each other so that at the end of the day, we heal together. How's that, Tim? How's that for my NPR moment?
Loved it. That was awesome. And I love what you said about grace. That's overlooked in our hyper partisan, hyperbolic world. Um, and do you know what the actual definition of grace is?
I actually don't.
Don't be a dick. The real kindness, bro. Out.